The giant screen in Earth Defense Fleet headquarters showed a strange object entering Earth orbit. Commander Daniel Wright rubbed his tired eyes and looked again. The object was not a meteor or space junk. It was a ship. An alien ship. "Are we sure about this?" he asked, his voice steady despite his racing heart. "Yes, sir," replied Lieutenant Susan Miller. "It's definitely not one of ours. The ship is over 2 miles long and doesn't match any known design." The year was 2157. Humans had already built small colonies on Mars and Europa, but they had never met aliens before. This was humanity's first contact with beings from another world. "Send the greeting message on all frequencies," ordered Commander Wright. His superiors had prepared for this day for decades. There was a careful plan in place. The strange ship remained silent for 3 hours. Then, suddenly, a message came through. The aliens called themselves the Galactic Council, an alliance of 27 advanced species. They had been watching Earth for years. "They'd want to meet," said Susan, looking up from her screen with wide eyes. 2 days later, Commander Wright stood in the main hall of the largest spaceship humans had ever built. With him were Dr. Olivia Bennett, NASA's top scientist, and Major John Nelson, Earth's leading military strategist. They had been chosen to meet the aliens. With a soft hiss, the airlock opened. A tall figure stepped through. It looked like a giant insect walking on 2 legs. It had 4 arms and a hard shell that shimmered with blue and green colors. "I am Ambassador Krulthar," the alien said in perfect English. Its voice came from a small device on its chest. "Welcome to the beginning of a new age for your species." Dr. Bennett stepped forward. "We are honored to meet you, Ambassador. We have many questions." "Of course you do," said Krulthar. Its mouthparts moved in what might have been a smile. "The Council invites your representatives to our central station. We will answer all your questions there." 1 week later, Commander Wright, Dr. Bennett, and Major Nelson boarded the alien ship. The journey to the Council station took only 3 days. Even though it was beyond Pluto's orbit, human ships would have needed months to travel so far. When they arrived, the humans gasped in wonder. The space station called Harmonious Unity was bigger than Earth's moon. Thousands of ships of different shapes and sizes flew around it. "It's amazing," whispered Dr. Bennett. "Think of all we can learn from them." Ambassador Krulthar led them through the station. Aliens of all shapes and sizes stopped to stare at the humans. Some pointed. Others made strange sounds that might have been laughter. "Why are they looking at us like that?" asked Major Nelson quietly. "We are the newest species they have found," said Commander Wright. "They're curious." But there was something in the alien's eyes that bothered him. It wasn't just curiosity. It was something else. Something that reminded him of how people looked at animals in a zoo. In the main chamber, a circle of aliens waited for them. They sat on high chairs, looking down at the humans. "The Council welcomes Earth's representatives," said a large alien with purple skin. "We have watched your progress with great interest. You have done well for such a young species." Commander Wright felt a chill run down his spine. The alien's words were friendly, but its tone was not. It sounded like an adult praising a child for a simple drawing. As the meeting continued, one thing became clear to the 3 humans. The Galactic Council did not see them as equals. To these ancient space-traveling species, humans were just the newest curiosity in a very old galaxy. And that was dangerous. 3 months passed. Commander Wright, Dr. Bennett, and Major Nelson still lived on the Harmonious Unity station. They sent daily reports back to Earth about the many alien species and their advanced technology. But they also sent private messages with growing concerns. "They treat us like children," Dr. Bennett said during a secure call with Earth's leaders. "They pat us on the head when we show them our science. It's getting hard to stay polite." Today was important. The humans would present Earth's military capabilities to the Council's Defense Committee. It was a standard part of joining the galactic community. Major Nelson had prepared videos showing Earth's best weapons: nuclear missiles, rail guns, laser defense systems, and the pride of their fleet, the battle cruiser Freedom Star. The Defense Committee meeting room was huge. 7 important council members sat at a high table. Different aliens from at least 20 species watched from seats around the walls. Admiral Zev Khan, a tall reptilian being with dark green scales and yellow eyes, led the meeting. He belonged to the draconian species, known for their powerful military. Now we will review the defensive capabilities of Earth, Admiral Zev Khan announced. His voice was deep and seemed to hold back laughter. Please, show us what your species can do. Major Nelson stepped forward. He started the presentation with confidence. The video showed missiles launching, ships firing rail guns, and soldiers using advanced battle suits. As the presentation continued, something strange happened. At first, it was just a few quiet sounds. Then it grew louder. The aliens were laughing. Admiral Zev Khan didn't even try to hide it anymore. He laughed loudly, pointing at the screen showing Earth's newest nuclear missile. These would barely scratch the paint on our smallest patrol ships, he said, wiping a tear from his eye. The other aliens laughed harder. Commander Wright felt his face grow hot with anger and shame. Dr. Bennett put a hand on his arm, warning him to stay calm. The Admiral stood up when the presentation ended. Humans, you have courage, but your weapons are toys to us. The Council has decided to grant Earth protected species status. What does that mean? Asked Commander Wright, trying to keep his voice steady. It means we will protect you, said a blue-skinned alien at the table. No one will attack your planets. In return, you will stop developing weapons. You don't need them anymore. Major Nelson stepped forward. With respect, Earth prefers to protect itself. We have defended our planet for thousands of years. Admiral Zev Khan laughed again. Against other humans, yes. But the galaxy is full of dangers you cannot imagine. Some species would destroy your planet just for its resources. Like you, Dr. Bennett asked quietly. The room went silent. Admiral Zev Khan's yellow eyes narrowed. What an amusing thought, he said finally. The Council exists to bring peace. We have never destroyed a species that accepted our protection. The way he said accepted made Commander Wright's skin crawl. Later, in their private quarters, the 3 humans talked in whispers. Protected status means we become their pets, Major Nelson said. Other species warn me. The protected planets provide resources and workers to the Council. They never develop further. We need to find out more, Commander Wright said. I don't trust the Draconians. Dr. Bennett nodded. I've made a friend, a librarian named Sylveri. She might help us access the historical archives. Be careful, warned Commander Wright. I think we're being watched. On the other side of the station, Admiral Zev Khan was watching a recording of the humans' reaction. He turned to his assistant. Prepare a report for the High Command, he ordered. These humans ask too many questions. They might become a problem. Should we eliminate the problem? Asked the assistant. Admiral Zev Khan smiled, showing sharp teeth. Not yet, but soon. Very soon. Dr. Olivia Bennett walked quickly through the quiet halls of the library section. Most aliens on the station were sleeping during the cycle. It was the perfect time to meet Sylveri. The librarian was waiting in a small side room filled with glowing data screens. Sylveri looked almost human, except for her pale blue skin and large silver eyes with no pupils. Thank you for helping me, Dr. Bennett said quietly. Sylveri nodded. What you ask is dangerous. The Council does not like others seeing these old records. She touched a screen and ancient files appeared. These are reports about other species who joined the Council in the last 500 years. Dr. Bennett read quickly, her eyes getting wider with each file. Most of the newer species had accepted protected status. Those who refused often suffered terrible accidents. One planet had massive earthquakes right after they rejected Council protection. Another had their sun suddenly flare up, burning half their world. A third lost their moon to a random asteroid that somehow changed course to hit it. "This can't be coincidence," Dr. Bennett whispered. "The Draconians are very powerful," Sci-Fi said softly. "The Council's inner circle allows them to handle problems. In return, they keep the peace. By destroying anyone who might become a threat," Dr. Bennett finished. She felt cold all over. "Your people must be careful," Sci-Fi warned. "The Draconians already watch Earth closely." Meanwhile, back on Earth, NASA engineer Alan Martinez stared at his screen in confusion. He had been tracking objects near Jupiter when he noticed something strange, a patch of space that seemed empty but bent light around it. He called Captain Lisa Rodriguez from the Navy's Space Division to his office. "Look at this," he said, pointing to the screen. "Something's there, but it's invisible to our regular scans." Captain Rodriguez studied the data. "Cloaking technology. Must be alien." "I found 3 more like it," Alan said, "all watching different parts of our solar system." Lisa's face grew serious. "They're spying on us." "But why?" Commander Wright said the Council seemed friendly, if a bit superior. "Let me try something," Alan said. He adjusted the sensors to detect heat instead of light. Slowly, shapes appeared on the screen. "Those are ships," Lisa said. "Big ones." Alan nodded. "And look at their position. They could hit Earth, Mars, and our moon bases all at once." "We need to tell Command," Lisa said. "Right now." Back on the Council station, Major Nelson had set up a secret communication channel to Earth using a device hidden in his personal items. When he received the message about the hidden ships, his worst fears were confirmed. "They're preparing to attack if we don't accept their terms," he told Commander Wright that night. Commander Wright paced their quarters. "We need more time. Earth isn't ready to fight ships like the ones we've seen here." Dr. Bennett found something important in the archives, Major Nelson said. "Species that stand up to the Council tend to have natural disasters happen to them." Commander Wright's face hardened. "So we either become their pets or they destroy us. Those can't be our only options." He sat down and began writing a coded message to Earth's unified military command. "We need to tell General Stone everything. Maybe there's something he can do that the Council won't expect." "Like what?" asked Major Nelson. "You saw how they laughed at our weapons." "That's actually our advantage," Commander Wright said, a small smile forming. "They think our weapons are jokes. They won't see us as a real threat." "Until it's too late," Major Nelson finished, nodding slowly. As they sent their message to Earth, Admiral Zev Khan was meeting with the Council's inner circle. "The humans are stubborn," he said. "They keep delaying their answer about protected status." "Perhaps they need motivation," said a shadowy figure at the head of the table. "A small demonstration of power." Admiral Zev Khan smiled. "I'll prepare my ships. The humans will learn their place, one way or another." General William Stone read the secret message from Commander Wright 3 times. His face grew more serious with each reading. Then he called an emergency meeting with Earth's top military leaders. "The Galactic Council is not what it seems," he told them. "If we don't accept their protection, they might attack us. But if we do accept, we become their servants forever." "What can we do?" asked an Air Force general. "Their technology is hundreds of years ahead of ours." General Stone smiled slightly. "Maybe not in all ways. I have an idea." He turned to his assistant. "Get me Dr. Kevin Harris. Right now." Dr. Harris was a quantum physicist who most people thought was slightly crazy. Before the aliens came, he had designed theoretical weapons that the military had rejected as impossible. Now, General Stone thought those impossible ideas might be their only hope. 3 days later, in a secret underground base, Operation Silent Arrow began. Dr. Harris explained his plan to the gathered scientists and engineers. "The aliens use energy shields and plasma weapons," he said. "They abandoned nuclear technology centuries ago because they found something better. But that's their weakness." He pointed to diagrams on a screen. "My design combines our nuclear technology with quantum field manipulation. It creates a disruption that their shields can't stop because they never thought to defend against it. Alan Martinez and Captain Rodriguez joined the team, bringing their data on the cloaked alien ships. Together, they worked day and night to build a weapon the Council would never expect. Meanwhile, on the Council station, Commander Wright and Dr. Bennett continued to delay giving an answer about protected status. They attended meetings, asked many questions, and requested time to help Earth understand the great honor being offered. Major Nelson spent his time watching the Draconian ships and officers. He noticed something important about their vessel designs. They rely completely on their shields. He told his colleagues, their actual hull material is quite thin. They've never needed strong hulls because their shields stop everything. Dr. Bennett nodded. That matches what I learned about their history. They haven't fought a real war in over 300 years. They've forgotten what it's like to be truly threatened. Days turned into weeks. The Council's patience grew thin. The humans are stalling. Admiral Zev Khan complained to the inner circle. They think they can bargain with us like equals. Then it is time for your demonstration, the head council member said. Show them a small example of our power. Admiral Zev Khan bowed. I will position my ships tomorrow. The flagship Imperial Judgment will lead the mission. Back on Earth, in the underground base, Dr. Harris watched as engineers loaded his strange device into what looked like a normal missile. Will it work? General Stone asked quietly. The math is sound, Dr. Harris replied. But we've never tested it against alien materials. If I'm right about the quantum resonance effect, their hull will literally fall apart at the molecular level. General Stone nodded. We'll only get one chance. The missile must look ordinary so they won't bother to shoot it down. They received a coded message from Commander Wright. Council patience ended. Draconian ships moving toward Earth. Expect demonstration of force within 48 hours. They're coming, General Stone told his team. Get the quantum spear ready for launch. Captain Rodriguez looked worried. One missile against their flagship. Even with Dr. Harris' design, it seems impossible. Sometimes the most powerful weapon is the one your enemy doesn't think is a weapon at all, General Stone replied. The Council laughed at our missiles. Let's see if they're still laughing after we fire the first shot. As the sun set, radar operators tracked 6 large ships entering Earth orbit. The largest one, nearly 3 miles long, took position directly over the Pacific Ocean. Operation Silent Arrow was ready. Humanity's future would depend on one desperate gamble. 6 Draconian ships hung in Earth's orbit like giant metal predators. The largest one, Imperial Judgment, was twice the size of the others. Its shadow fell over the Pacific Ocean as it slowly circled the planet. On the Harmonious Unity Station, Commander Wright was called to an emergency council meeting. Dr. Bennett and Major Nelson followed behind him. They entered a large room where all 27 council species were gathered. The head council member, a tall being with glowing eyes, stood up. Commander Wright, the council's patience has ended. Earth must accept protected status within 30 Earth days. This is our final offer. Admiral Zev Khan stepped forward, his scales gleaming under the bright lights. To help you understand the importance of this decision, I will give a small demonstration. Tomorrow, my ships will remove an uninhabited island from your ocean. This will show what happens to those who refuse our protection. Commander Wright kept his face calm, though his heart beat faster. Is threatening Earth the Council's official position? The room grew silent. Some council members looked uncomfortable. It is not a threat, Admiral Zev Khan said smoothly. It is education. Your species must learn its place in the galaxy. After the meeting, Silveri found Dr. Bennett in a quiet hallway. The librarian looked nervous. The Draconians already have permission for this demonstration, she whispered. They've done this before to other worlds. First, they destroy something small. Then they threaten cities. Dr. Bennett thanked her friend and hurried to tell the others. They sent an urgent message to Earth. Demonstration attack confirmed. Target is Pacific Island. Council set 30-day deadline. On Earth, General Stone received the message in the command center of Operation Silent Arrow. Engineers and scientists worked frantically around him, making final adjustments to the quantum sphere. "Are we ready?" he asked Dr. Harris. "The weapon is ready," Dr. Harris replied. "But we have only one. If it fails..." General Stone nodded grimly. "Then we'd better not miss." Captain Rodriguez studied the screens showing the Draconian ships. They're spreading out. The flagship is taking position above the target area. "They want the whole world to see their power," Alan Martinez said. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies." Indeed, all across Earth, regular TV and internet broadcasts were suddenly replaced by an image of Admiral Zev Khan. "People of Earth," the Admiral said, his voice deep and confident, "your leaders have delayed accepting our generous offer of protection. Tomorrow, we will remove a small island from your ocean. This is but a fraction of our power. The Council's patience has limits. Accept our protection or face the consequences." The broadcast ended. Panic spread across the world. People feared the alien ships hanging in the sky, ready to destroy part of their planet. In the command center, General Stone called the world's leaders. "We have one chance," he told them. "One weapon that might work against them. But we must strike first, before their demonstration." "What if it fails?" asked the president. "Then we accept their terms and look for another way," General Stone said. "But I believe this will work. The aliens have gotten too confident. They've forgotten what it's like to face a real enemy." After hours of debate, the world leaders agreed. Operation Silent Arrow would proceed. That night, in orbit, Admiral Zev Khan watched Earth from his flagship's bridge. "Such a beautiful world," he said to his officers. "Soon it will provide excellent resources for the Empire." "Should we be concerned about their defenses?" asked his second-in-command. Admiral Zev Khan laughed. "Did you not see their weapons? Primitive missiles and projectiles. They cannot even scratch our hulls. Tomorrow's demonstration will break their spirit." Little did he know that deep in a hidden base, humanity was preparing to launch a weapon unlike anything the Draconians had ever seen. Dawn broke over the Pacific Ocean. The massive Draconian flagship Imperial Judgment hovered 12 miles above the small uninhabited island chosen for destruction. 5 smaller warships formed a circle around the flagship. Inside the Imperial Judgment, Admiral Zev Khan prepared for his demonstration. He wore his formal military uniform covered with medals and badges. "Is the broadcast ready?" he asked. "I want every human on the planet to see this." "Yes, Admiral," replied his communications officer. "We can take over all their networks at your command." On the Harmonious Unity Station, Commander Wright, Dr. Bennett, and Major Nelson watched with other council representatives. A large screen showed the Draconian ships above Earth. "This is wrong," Dr. Bennett whispered. "They're terrorizing our planet." Major Nelson checked his secure communicator. It showed one message: "Arrow ready." "It's time," he said quietly to the others. Down on Earth, in the hidden command center, General Stone gave the final order: "Launch the quantum spear." Deep in the Atlantic Ocean, a submarine silently opened its missile hatch. The launch was designed to look like a test, something the Draconians would have seen many times in their surveillance of Earth. A single missile rose from the water and streaked toward space. Its path would take it directly to the Imperial Judgment. On the flagship's bridge, a junior officer noticed the launch. "Admiral, the humans have fired a missile." Admiral Zev Khan glanced at the sensor readings and smiled. "Let it come. Don't waste energy on shields." "But sir," the officer began. "These primitive weapons cannot harm us," Admiral Zev Khan said. "Let them see how useless their defenses are." The missile climbed higher, its path steady and true. Draconian sensors analyzed it and found nothing unusual. It was just another nuclear missile, like hundreds they had seen before. In the council observation room, all eyes watched the missile approach the flagship. "They're not raising shields," Major Nelson said, surprised. They don't think they need to, Commander Wright replied. Dr. Bennett held her breath. Everything depended on this moment. The missile reached the Imperial Judgment and struck its hull near the main engine section. There was a small explosion, hardly visible from a distance. Admiral Zev Khan laughed and turned to face the camera for his broadcast. People of Earth, you have just witnessed the futility of resistance. Your most powerful weapon couldn't even. He stopped speaking as a strange sound filled the bridge. It was like metal groaning, but higher pitched. An officer shouted in alarm, pointing to a nearby wall. The solid metal was rippling, like water disturbed by a stone. What is happening? Admiral Zev Khan demanded. On Earth, in the command center, Dr. Harris watched the sensor readings with growing excitement. It's working. The quantum cascade is disrupting their hull's molecular structure. Back on the flagship, panic spread. The strange rippling effect moved across all surfaces. Crew members watched in horror as solid metal began to flow like liquid, then break apart into dust. Full shields. Emergency power. Admiral Zev Khan shouted. But it was too late. The quantum disruption had already spread throughout the ship's structure. The mighty Imperial Judgment, pride of the Draconian fleet, began to come apart. In the Council observation room, alien representatives watched in stunned silence as the flagship disintegrated. Massive sections of hull simply fell away, turning into clouds of metallic dust. The broadcast from Admiral Zev Khan cut off abruptly. Seconds later, a new voice came through all channels. It was General Stone. This demonstration is from Earth, he said calmly. We did not want war. We still don't, but we will not become slaves. The next demonstration won't be against an empty vessel if you continue your attack. The remaining Draconian ships suddenly powered up their engines and fled Earth orbit at maximum speed. Commander Wright turned to face the shocked council members. For the first time since arriving, he smiled. I believe we should discuss new terms for Earth's membership in the Council, he said. The Council chamber had never been so quiet. 27 species washed as drifting metal dust. All that remained of the Imperial Judgment appeared on the large view screen. The flagship that had terrified countless worlds was gone, destroyed by a single human missile. Admiral Zev Khan was not present. He had been on his ship when it disintegrated. His second in command, a female Draconian named Captain Krell, stood trembling before the council. How? She asked, looking at Commander Wright. How did you destroy our flagship? It was impossible. Dr. Bennett stepped forward. Not impossible, just unexpected. Your people abandoned nuclear physics centuries ago for energy weapons. You never explored the quantum effects we discovered. She displayed diagrams showing how the quantum spear worked. Your shields are designed to stop energy blasts and physical impacts. But our weapon disrupted the atomic bonds in your hull material itself. The shield couldn't stop it because it wasn't designed to. Several council scientists moved closer, studying the diagrams with new respect. You went down a scientific path we never explored, one said quietly. We assumed our way was the only way. The head council member raised a hand for silence. This changes everything. The Draconians assured us humans were no threat. Yet you destroyed their most powerful warship with a single weapon. Commander Wright faced the council. Earth does not want war. We never did. We only want to join the galactic community as equals, not as servants or pets. And if we refuse, asked a council member. Then we remain separate, Commander Wright said calmly. But remember what happened today. One missile reached its target. We can build more. The council chamber erupted in urgent discussions. Species that had been silent for centuries suddenly had much to say. The balance of power had shifted in a single day. After hours of debate, the head council member announced their decision. The council offers Earth full membership status, equal to all others. This is the first such treaty in 500 years. Back on Earth, people celebrated the news. The draconian ships had fled, and humanity had earned its place among the stars not through submission, but through ingenuity. In the command center, General Stone shook hands with Dr. Harris. "Your crazy idea saved our planet, Doctor." Dr. Harris smiled. "Sometimes being underestimated is an advantage." They were so sure we were primitive that they never considered we might have ideas they didn't. 3 days later, Commander Wright, Dr. Bennett, and Major Nelson prepared to return to Earth with the new treaty. As they boarded their ship, Captain Krell approached them. She looked around to make sure no one was listening, then asked in a low voice, "How many more of these weapons do you have?" Commander Wright smiled slightly. "For everyone's sake, let's hope we never need to answer that question." The truth was, Earth had only built one quantum spear. But the Draconians and the Council didn't need to know that. 2 weeks later, Earth's representatives returned home as heroes. Crowds cheered as they stepped off their ship. Commander Wright carried the treaty that made humanity an equal member of the galactic community. "What happens now?" a reporter asked. "Now the real work begins," Dr. Bennett replied. "We have much to learn from the Council races, and it seems they have things to learn from us too." Major Nelson looked up at the sky. For thousands of years, humans have looked at the stars and dreamed of not being alone. Now we know we're not. But we've also proven something important. "What's that?" asked the reporter. "That humanity deserves its place among those stars," he said, "not as anyone's pet or servant, but as equals. We may be young, but we're not to be underestimated." In the months that followed, other Council species came to Earth to learn about human science and culture. The Draconians kept their distance, but the threat was gone. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Never mock a species until you've seen what they can do when pushed too far. *The End*.